Happy deadline day or unhappy deadline day.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's going on, friends, and welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan, here on the day of my club's deadline. Yeah, it's deadline day in January. Chelsea are still looking for opportunities at time of recording, around 20 past midday here in the kingdom. We are going to react to stories. Of course, I'll be doing a match review later tonight after Chelsea's game against Graham Potter's West Ham, and by then we'll know a little bit more as well with transfer stories, and we'll react accordingly. Players have gone out. Carney, Chukwuemeka, they're going to Dortmund. Casaday's been sold. Who else has gone out? Of course, Renato Veiga to Juventus, and Chile's going to Palace. We'll speak about that. There's a twist on Nkunku and Felix, which we're going to speak about today. Those stories coming from The Athletic. And obviously stuff. Disassi still wants to go to Villa. Chelsea are reluctant to do business with Villa because we see them as a Champions League contender, and that's worth more money than perhaps a little bit whatever the discrepancy between a transfer to them or someone else would be about one of our players. Anyway, we're going to get into it, but delighted to say this video is brought to you by Stocks FC, which is a really fun platform to take your mind off Chelsea frustrations. It's a stock market to do player trading with footballers. It's a little bit like FPL in terms of testing your knowledge, buying low, selling high, building a portfolio of players, selling your shares in the players, and basically trying to get ahead, essentially using your football knowledge. It is 18 plus because you can put money in, try and earn some peas out of it. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. I show you my portfolio sometimes. If you are a football fancy Premier League guy and you want to put a few quid in and have some fun, you also get some free loan shares as well. Just check it out, basically. I'll put a QR code here. Bang! So you can scan that or click the link in the top of the description. So, let's get into the stories. Nizar Kinsella of the BBC now has confirmed Chelsea midfielder Carney Chukwuemeka has flown to Germany and is completing his loan move to Borussia Dortmund. The 20-year-old needs to pass a medical, but is expected to make the switch before the transfer deadline, which is, of course, tonight. Chukwuemeka is considered surplus to requirements at Stamford Bridge by manager Enzo Maresca and has been encouraged to leave. Meanwhile, Chelsea Academy defender Somto Boniface is expected to join Ipswich Town on a permanent deal. So another exit to a currently Premier League team. I say currently because Ipswich are almost certainly going down. So business has quietly been done. We've recalled Datro Fofana, which has gone under the radar a little bit. Of course, we recalled Trevoh Chalobah, and he's already been starting every game. And like I said, players out. Cesare Casadei is an okay sale, I suppose, in isolation. Renato Veiga's already started for Juventus as a centre-back where he wants to start. So I guess Chelsea fans are okay with that in terms of what's going on there. But a big important story for me is the Ben Chilwell to Crystal Palace. So let's talk about that. Simon Johnson and Matt Woosnam, who must be the Palace correspondent maybe, has wrote this on The Athletic. Chelsea have agreed a deal for Ben Chilwell to join Crystal Palace on loan. The 28-year-old defender will now undergo a medical on Monday ahead of completing the proposed move to Selhurst Park for the remainder of the season. The Athletic reported on February the 1st that Palace had expressed an interest in the short-term deal for Chilwell following the Riyadh's season-ending injury and Trevoh Chalobah's return to Chelsea. Although Chalobah's a right-sided centre-back / conservative right-back, maybe. I know he can play on the left, but Chilwell is a wing-back, left-back, which would have to use him like that, right? Essentially. Everton have also been credited with interest, but are unable to take a second player for Stamford Bridge. Of course, they've got Armando Broja on loan there. Chilwell had been expected to leave the club since Maresca essentially arrived at Chelsea in August, saying that it would be, quote, better for him to leave and get minutes. So he's basically nailed his colours to the mast early doors, Maresca, in Chilwell. Like, you know, essentially Enzo Maresca's fullbacks, they either tuck in and make a back three, or they invert into the midfield for the most part. Chilwell can do neither of those things. He's an offensive fullback, wingback, you know. He wants to stay wide, basically. He doesn't want to tuck in or invert. He'd only invert in the final third when he'd score goals, you know. A summer move, of course, didn't materialise. And he only played a few minutes off the bench against Barrow when we were 5-0 up or something in the cup. So really, really not fancied. Chilwell joined Chelsea in 2020 for 50 million. Look, I'm a massive Chilwell fan. I was very, very firm on it early doors when we were being linked with alternatives, Nicola Tagliafico and Alex Telles. Chilwell was a lot younger than them, or significantly younger. And I was like, yeah, let's sign Chilwell. I think he's really got to like what I see. Got a lot of stick from lots of people saying it was English bias, but looking at the respective careers of the three, it was the right decision. And Chilwell was so good. Obviously, he's a Champions League winning left wing back, scoring loads of goals. And everyone would say, you know, Chelsea might... Obviously, when we got Lukaku, he was like the solution to everything, wasn't he? But he wasn't, but theoretically he was. But everything else was like, yeah, Chelsea 3rd place in the Prem, Champions League winner, FA Cup finalist. You know, they are a great team because of Chilwell and James. The wingbacks are so key. They score goals. They both score goals. They both assist. They're slightly different, but they complement each other really well. It was a vibe, you know. I'm so pleased he's going to Palace. Chelsea remain to have this great relationship with Crystal Palace. I've been saying it, like, you know, obviously they'll be annoyed that we tried to be a bit naughty with the Elise approach initially, and of course they might be annoyed that we recalled Trevoh Chalobah. They might even be annoyed that we've been asking them about Guehi, but we sold them Guehi for, you know, fair price, but it turned out to be a great deal. They've enjoyed good loan signings from the likes of Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, 6 months of Trev, and hopefully, touch wood, 6 months of Chilwell. It's certainly a relationship between two clubs that we shouldn't, you know, want to sour. In terms of Chilwell himself, hopefully he will play. I do think some people like Thomas Tuchel will be thinking about his Chelsea boys, his English Chelsea boys that won him the Champions League that he knows so well. Plus, you know, he's obviously spoken about Cole Palmer and stuff, but apart from, you know, Harry Kane, who had at Bayern, and Cole Palmer, who he knows is clearly very good, he'll be thinking Reece James, if he can stay fit, bloody hell, I need to get him in my England team. We know he likes Trevoh Chalobah. He'll probably call him up, especially if he's playing in the Prem, you know, semi-regularly. Mason Mount would just be thinking, God, if I could only get fit. Do you know what I mean? Like his English lads. I mean, Tuchel loves Sterling, but I don't think Sterling's got a chance at all now. But Chilwell will be thinking, right, the England gaffer knows what I can do. If he's going to play a back three system, if I can play as a starting left wing back in the Premier League a little bit, he'll have to consider me. Even if it's just a call up to be a rotational option, just to see if he can do anything. They'll all be thinking of the second chances in the England team. And, yeah, look, man, it's interesting. Like, it's a shame. Obviously, he's on high wages. He's not in the new wage structure, so Chelsea... I think they've been quite gentle with him. They've seen him as a professional. They've not tried to push him out. They've given him, you know, the time, and obviously understand it is what it is. But apparently, he's a great player. He's vice captain last season. I was in my head making a case for him to be captain over Reece James, purely in terms of how he, you know, spoke about the club and how he put his arm around Mudryk and all this stuff. And I felt Reece James was a bit more reserved. Obviously, Reece James is a much better player, and I think Reece James loves Chelsea more. But still, it's a loss, and it will be a gain to another club, and I think he needs to be respected, you know. All right, so more exits. Who knows? Maybe an addition. Ornstein and Simon Johnson write on The Athletic. Chelsea forward Christopher Nkunku is staying at Stamford Bridge, but the club are prepared to loan out Joao Felix before the deadline tonight. Can I just say... Many people will disagree with me, but I think it should be the other way around. I really do. I don't think Nkunku is helpful for Chelsea at all unless you put Cole Palmer at right wing, you play Nkunku behind Jackson and whoever on the left. Nkunku isn't good as a striker. Nkunku is terrible as a left winger. And I understand, I was listening to, I can't remember if it was the Straight Out of Cobham podcast or if it was CFC Central on Londoners, but I think it might have been Straight Out of Cobham, talking about how if you move Cole Palmer over to the right, which by the way, Maresca did at academy level to Cole, he needs to do that job that perhaps Noni Maduake's not actually been doing well himself lately, tracking back and covering and helping Reece James and helping that, because we've been attacked down that flank so much. You don't want Cole Palmer just constantly running back and defending, because if you do get transitional opportunity, not only do you want him closer to goal, you want Cole more in the center of the pitch to play make. Nkunku simply isn't going to do that stuff. I feel like in terms of playmaking versatility and just actually maybe helping a bit off the left, inverting, I feel like Felix is a lot more useful. I did say recently we've got two natural finishers, goal scorers at Chelsea. One's called Palmer, one's called Nkunku. And if we find a way to get him into goal scoring positions again, and he just stops jogging around, if he actually starts trying, then great. But I do think in terms of these two particular players, it's the wrong way around. Let's read on. Nkunku has been subject of a lot of interest this month, including Bayern Munich, as we know, with the Matthijs Tel situation that seems to have fizzled out in terms of Chelsea. And Man United, the 27-year-old has been a fringe member of the squad and under head coach Maresca this season. He's made just 3 starts in the Premier League, and I think underwhelming as well, if memory serves. Chelsea, one of them was on the left wing against City, and it was like, what is this? Chelsea were prepared to sell him this month if a club met their valuation of around £65 million, which is a significant profit, guys, from 2 years ago when we bought him. And like I said, he's been injured 1 year and he's been a B team player the second year, yet we want a big profit on him. But no one has made such an offer. Shock. Given his lack of football for Chelsea, Bayern Munich and United feel he's worth around £40 million. And I must say, I tend to agree. I think if he's fit and firing, he'll be worth 50, 60 again, but I get why not 65. United did contact Chelsea on Sunday, yesterday at time of recording, talking about a loan for the rest of the season, but Chelsea did not want to let him go on loan, and the player did not want to go either. Funny that. Want to go to the worst Man United side ever? Not really, dude. All right. Apparently, Matthijs Tel's considered it, though. Another issue for United is their tight financial situation and the fact that they were unable to sell Rashford on a permanent basis. Of course, he's gone to Villa now. I did a video on it on my second channel, Football Yannick. He's moved to Aston Villa, of course, on loan to the rest of the campaign. There is a option to buy, but he could return in the summer. So Man United can't make definitive big permanent moves. So clubs in Italy are interested in a straight loan for the rest of the season. Chelsea are considering allowing the Portugal international, João Felix now, who currently prefers a switch to Serie A over the European leagues, to leave in order to get him first team football. So he's a bit younger, a couple years younger, Felix. He's 25, just 25. He joined Chelsea for 44 million in August and has started 9 times in all competitions. That is not good enough for João Felix in all comps. Excuse me. Yeah, that's no good at all. And has made only 20 appearances overall. Meanwhile, Aston Villa are seriously unlikely to sign defender Axel Disasi on loan. So Villa have looked really serious. Of course, did they sign Asensio? But they've looked seriously at both Felix and Disasi. The two clubs have been in talks, but did not agree on terms. Chelsea rejected a £6 million offer from Aston Villa, who view a deal to acquire the defender as too expensive. Loan, I guess. So Disasi is still attracting offers from other clubs in the Premier League and elsewhere in Europe. Something could still happen with Axel Disasi leaving Chelsea. Apparently, he has rejected Tottenham, which is great. Proper Chelsea. He's rejected Tottenham. Look, I feel bad sending anyone to Tottenham at the moment, or just generally ever. I do understand a little bit, to a degree, the theory about strengthening Aston Villa to the point where obviously they're sort of struggling to break into that top 5. But if Chelsea's sending players, there's the difference of them knocking Chelsea out of 5th. Do you know what I mean? It would be catastrophic and it would just look so bad. So I kind of get it from that sense personally. But still, a few players have gone out, some youngsters. We're looking at signing some more teenagers, which doesn't excite the Chelsea fan base, understandably. Maybe something could still happen. Of course, Chelsea often work late into the night with transfers. A couple more could go. Nkunku staying will make some Chelsea fans happy. It makes me a bit concerned because he looks like he just simply doesn't want to be here. And if we had got a deal with him in January, it means the money probably would have been good. And it means we would have been in a position to strengthen and get this like fabled midfielder that Romano's been talking about, or this other forward that Romano's been talking about for Chelsea. But we'll see. Excuse me, guys. Anything can happen. I will, of course, react later on, so keep it locked to Football Therapy. In the meantime, I'll thank you for supporting my content, as always, by liking and subscribing. Football Therapy and Goat Gang merch now available on footballtherapy.shop or products underneath this video. And yeah, if you are like a fantasy football style person and you like those kind of things, do check out Stocks FC. It's just to have a look at the platform because it's pretty cool. So again, I'll put a link in the description or the comments, or you can scan the QR codes. But yeah, we're playing West Ham, so absolutely bricking it. I hope we get a result, man, and go above both Newcastle and Man City, because that would be grand. Yeah, and I'll see you in a bit, hopefully. Peace.